What's up, guys, and welcome to One Take. Today, we're breaking down the trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I should warn up front, this breakdown will have some spoilers for the theatrical cut in case you haven't already seen it. First, some overall thoughts. To me, the theatrical cut of Justice League suffered mainly because none of the main characters felt very fleshed out. There were hints of an arc to each of them, but ultimately, their journeys were clinically glossed over to get them united for the final battle. This trailer tells me that these characters, especially Cyborg, will get more complete arcs, which will hopefully result in a more satisfying experience. I also love a good Zack Snyder montage with a slow, haunting song over it, so this trailer was enjoyable even as just a 2.5-minute music video for Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. Anyway, let's break down the trailer, and just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying these videos, to please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified the next time we do a video. The opening shot immediately reveals one of the key elements removed from the theatrical cut. Darkseid. He was originally intended to be the true villain of Justice League and the puppet master behind Steppenwolf before getting cut from the film entirely. Darkseid belongs to a race of new gods who inhabited New Genesis, a heaven-like planet, and Apocalypse, a hell-like planet. Darkseid is of course the tyrannical ruler of Apocalypse and one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Oh, also, his ultimate goal is just to conquer the universe by eliminating all hope and free will in sentient beings. Typically, he is portrayed as powerful enough that he does not require any weapons. However, here, we are seeing Darkseid in his younger days when he went by the name Uxas, while he was still rising to power. In the theatrical cut of Justice League, we see a flashback to thousands of years ago. Steppenwolf attacks Earth, but is ultimately thwarted by the united Amazonians, Atlanteans, humans, and Green Lanterns. This shot of Darkseid looks very similar, so it's likely that we are seeing him attack Earth, as was originally intended, before he was replaced by Steppenwolf in the version we saw. By the way, I wouldn't expect to see too much of Darkseid in this film. Most rumors pointed to him appearing only in a small role to set up future Justice League sequels as the ultimate villain. Then we see another piece of new footage, Superman looking up in anguish, surrounded by energy. The closest shot to this in the theatrical cut that I can think of is Superman and Cyborg taking an energy blast after separating the mother boxes. So this could be an alternate take on that sequence, or something entirely new. Maybe a glimpse at the future which leads into the nightmare sequences, which is what we see next. The Justice League headquarters, or the Hall of Justice, is destroyed and the Earth is an apocalyptic hellscape. We glimpsed this world in Batman v Superman when Bruce Wayne experiences a vision of the future. In this future, Darkseid has seemingly succeeded in destroying the world. Superman, after losing Lois Lane, turns dark, leading a tyrannical army. Although Snyder has not explicitly stated it, he's implied that the Flash who visited Bruce in Batman v Superman came from this nightmarish future. It looks like we'll be seeing more of it in the Snyder Cut. In the wreckage of the destroyed Hall of Justice, you can see Aquaman's trident and a burned Joker card floats by. Next, we see Diana, aka Wonder Woman, approaching a still smoking Arrow. This scene was not in the theatrical version. However, in that cut, after Steppenwolf attacked Themyscira, the Amazonians fired a burning arrow as a warning signal to Diana. In the version we saw, Diana hears about it on the news, and that's the only mention of it. In the Snyder Cut, it looks like she'll visit the Arrow itself and will spend more time on her journey to join the battle. Next up is a shot that was in the original trailer for Justice League, but didn't actually make the final cut of the film. Bruce Wayne looking at a hologram. At the time, there was much speculation over what he was staring at. Some thought it was a hologram of Superman, and others thought maybe it was Supergirl. However, Snyder has since confirmed this is a hologram of Superman projected by Cyborg. While discussing their plans, Perhaps Cyborg projects the image of Superman, along with other images, as a sort of holographic whiteboard to assist in strategizing. Then, in a choice that's sure to please many, it seems that some of the 2 hours of additional runtime will be spent with Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, taking off his shirt. In the theatrical cut, we see Aquaman stop at a bar to drop off a fisherman he rescued. Finding green goo, he realizes that the man encountered parademons. So he heads into the ocean to ensure things are okay back home. This seems to be an extended version of that scene. Next, we're shown some Gotham City University football. We know that the Snyder Cut will spend more time on Victor Stone, or Cyborg's, origin. It looks like that will include some of his time as star of the GCU football team, something only mentioned in the theatrical cut. Then, Black Suit Superman. A general theme I get from this trailer is that each of these characters will get more of an arc. We'll spend more time with them reconciling with the war ahead and ultimately deciding to join Bruce Wayne in battle. Here, Superman appears to be at the Fortress of Solitude. I'm guessing he's there to A, do some soul searching, and B, get some sick new threads. Speaking of quieter character moments, we see Diana kneel in front of a child. In the theatrical cut, we see Wonder Woman thwart a terrorist plot at a London bank and rescue hostages. This moment likely takes place right after that. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified the next time we do a video. We'll be covering Snyder's Justice League all the way through to release, so make sure you're subscribed and can be part of the conversation. Back to the breakdown. Similar to Cyborg, it seems we'll spend more time fleshing out Barry Allen's character. Here, we see him rescue someone from a car accident, specifically Iris West, played by Kiersey Clemons. Typically, this character is portrayed as Barry's childhood friend and love interest. She was cut entirely from the theatrical version. Next, we see Cyborg at a graveyard, punching the ground. Last year, Zack Snyder gave context to this scene, but I'll save that for the end of the video for those of you that are a little more spoiler-averse. Then there's Batman in a classic Batman pose. Then another hint that characters will get deeper arcs in the Snyder Cut. We see Superman's mother, Martha, visiting Lois Lane. Next, we revisit Aquaman. His trident and suit are on the ground as he backs away, as though saying, "I'm not interested." This seems like an alternate or extended take on Mira convincing Arthur to go after Steppenwolf, like we saw in the theatrical cut. We see more of Darkseid. This again looks like the flashback to Steppenwolf's attack on Earth thousands of years ago, except we see it in its original form, where it is Darkseid leading the attack, not Steppenwolf. It also looks a lot less orange. It seems Snyder will be returning a slightly more natural look to the battle sequences. We have a glimpse of another cut character, Decode, Darkseid's right-hand man and chief torturer. Perhaps similar to Guardians of the Galaxy or some of the Avengers films, where we see Thanos and his minions discussing their machinations, we'll get a few cutaways to Darkseid and Decode. We do know that Darkseid will have some dialogue in the film because we know that Ray Porter was cast as Darkseid, and we've heard him discuss the process of getting the Darkseid voice right. We again see more of Cyborg's character arc. He's limping ahead with Flash behind him. I assume they're in Star Labs, where Victor's father, Silas Stone, works. Cyborg looks pretty distressed here, as though preparing to witness something awful, perhaps the death of his own father, shown moments later in the trailer. The way Flash stands behind Cyborg, rather than stepping in to help, tells me that Silas Stone's death is inevitable at this point. Barry knows it can't be stopped, so he only watches helplessly. Perhaps Victor does too, but he can't stop himself from trying, so he limps ahead. A man floats above the city skyline. This is very similar to a shot from the theatrical cut. Right after Superman is resurrected, he floats above the city. The next shot in the trailer is Lois Lane looking up, likely witnessing his resurrection from a distance. A machine is activated and a laser fires into the mother box, the one which gave Cyborg his power. Cyborg, or Victor, shouts as he watches his father Silas disintegrate. The way it is cut, it looks like Silas is the one who activates the laser and causes his own death. The look on his face also communicates resignation. I'm guessing he is forced into a position where he must sacrifice himself to save Cyborg or help the cause in some way. Further, I'm guessing that witnessing his father's sacrifice is part of what ultimately pushes Victor to join the Justice League. This is a major change from the theatrical version, where Steppenwolf does threaten Victor's father's life, but ultimately Silas survives. Snyder has said that in his version of Justice League, Cyborg is the heart of the movie. So these flashes of emotional beats for the character definitely hint at that original vision. Then we see Steppenwolf's arrival in Themyscira. However, his appearance is closer to Snyder's original vision. This one looks less human and more demonic. This is also closer to what we saw in the deleted communion scene from Batman v Superman. In addition to a new look, Steppenwolf's backstory and motivations should also be more on display. The theatrical cut presented him as the sole antagonist, but here we'll see his true nature as a soldier in Darkseid's war. Hopefully this raises him from generic villain to something resembling a real fleshed out character. This shot of Wonder Woman leading Aquaman and Cyborg into battle looks like an alternate take of their arrival at Steppenwolf's lair, the power plant in Russia. In the theatrical version, Wonder Woman is alone until the others join her shortly after her arrival, versus Snyder's cut, which includes Aquaman and Cyborg right away. Also, again, note the lack of orange sky. This leads into some very quick action shots. First, someone moving quickly in a sea of energy. It's hard to make out what exactly is happening, but I'd definitely put my money on something Flash related. Then the Batmobile chased by parademons, likely part of the film's climactic battle with Steppenwolf, an awesome shot of Black Suit Superman and Steppenwolf flying at each other, Batman blocking some shots from the parademons. Then we see the Flash looking around as though shocked or bewildered. The air also seems to be moving strangely around him. Perhaps he is experiencing a bizarre encounter with the Speed Force. This could be a moment that plants seeds for Flash's future use of the Speed Force to time travel, as we expect he will in the upcoming Flashpoint movie. That would align with Snyder's comment from the DC Fandom panel that
you're going to see something with Flash in this film I don't think that you've ever seen before. Something that has to do with his abilities, because you know he's a quantum character. He interacts with time and space, so you might see him do something that is timely.
In the theatrical version, we saw Clark Kent return home to see Lois and Martha, but this shot is new, so I'm guessing we'll spend a little more time there. In a very quick shot, someone in a Gotham City University jacket seems to wave a bunch of missiles away. I have to guess this is Cyborg, but he looks more human here. Perhaps we'll witness a slower transformation for his character in the Snyder Cut, looking more human at first and becoming more cyborg over time. An Atlantean fights off some enemies. However, this doesn't look like Aquaman, and it's on land, so this could be part of the flashbacks to Darkseid's attack thousands of years earlier. Cyborg stops a tank from hitting a cop. Then we have more of the Flash running. This could be connected to the shot from 10 seconds earlier. It could also be part of the moment we saw in the theatrical cut of Flash leaving battle to rescue civilians. Then a shot of the full team united. This is very similar to a shot from the theatrical version where they stand together after defeating Steppenwolf. However, in this trailer, Superman is still in his black suit rather than the classic blue and red. Plus, we did not see this ship arrive in the theatrical cut. None of them seem upset as it arrives, so I don't think it's a threat. My guess is that it's one of Bruce Wayne's vehicles sent by Alfred to bring them all back home after the battle. In the final clip of the trailer, we see Barry Allen, in classic Barry Allen fashion, express some concern before battle.
This guy's probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
But Bruce Wayne reassures him,
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united.
In the theatrical cut, Wonder Woman explains how Steppenwolf was defeated in his original attack. Athenians, Atlanteans, and other forces had to unite to make it happen. I wonder if they'll try to hit on this theme of unity even harder in this version of the movie to set up Batman's one-liner here. Anyway, that's where the trailer wraps up, but one more interesting detail. you may have noticed black bars on the left and right side of the screen. That's because Snyder's cut of the movie is presented in an aspect ratio commonly referred to as European widescreen. It shows more of the top and bottom of the screen than most movies do. This seems to be a creative choice on Snyder's part. Steppenwolf is a tall, domineering villain, and the enemies, including parademons, often come from above. So Snyder may have decided that an aspect ratio with more height better fit this movie. I mentioned I'd save some spoilery talk for the end, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you're notified the next time we do a video. Now for those spoilers. Though it does feel a little silly to add a spoiler warning, considering this trailer gives away the death of Victor Stone's father. Anyway, in a social media post last year, Snyder confirmed that this shot of Victor actually depicts him at his own gravestone. We know his mother was killed in a car accident. It appears the world believes Victor died in that same accident. Snyder has described Cyborg as the heart of his version of Justice League. Here, the character is clearly frustrated as he pounds the earth in front of his own grave. Perhaps this takes place after his father's death, when Cyborg is close to breaking. Either way, it seems to be a glimpse into a much more complete and emotional arc for the character than we got in the version we saw. Personally, I'm hoping that's the case because I think it would definitely elevate this version of the movie. I think we can wrap it up there. Make sure you're subscribed to follow the rest of our Snyder Cut coverage. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next One Take.